Right then. Well,
Knowing the shark.
gentlemen, are you ready?
Is it time?
It's that time again, yes.
Oh boy.
It's that time again. And again, my Twitch is saying that I have an unstable live condition. My OBS is saying that a single frame is being dropped.
That's fine to me.
Can't wait for that to be a fucking lie in 5 minutes.
Well, no,
You said I was dropping one frame.
no, literally,
That was a lie.
Not a single time so far that Twitch has said my connection's been unstable has OBS reported anything besides a 100% uprate. So it's not a problem between me and OBS. This is between OBS and Twitch. So I don't know what to say, but I do actually know what to say. Start this night off though. Is hello internet. This is Fanfiction Contempt 9004, episode 38. Your host SneakyDevil. We're here to learn tonight.
Oh shit, we're learning? Can I leave? I didn't sign up for math.
Well, unfortunately for you, all you need to know is 2 + 2 = fish.
Ah, yes.
I do know that. I do know that.
Yeah.
It's my favorite kind of math.
Make
I
a
sure
2 by
hope
2.
so, because
Make
that's the
5
only
by
kind of
2.
math that's going to exist after Common Core is done with this country.
God bless America.
What does fish plus tuna equal?
Shark.
Be
Good
shark.
man.
The shark indeed.
No, that's 2 plus flat, Sneaky.
Mm,
You know what?
main mass
I'm
play.
gonna spend $20 next time telling that joke.
You have to disguise it though. You have to be like, quick, Gura, what is 2 plus function A1, what's a good T representative? Just T, maybe? You know, you have to disguise the word flat as a math equation, and then her have it read it out of like, what's this, the squiggly F? And then like as she's reading it aloud, she's gonna have that moment of realization eventually. That's what's gonna make it worth it. But it has to be a stream where she doesn't have to think much, like Minecraft, because oh boy, I feel bad for those super chats from the Resident Evil stream.
Completely ignored.
She'll do Super Chat stream eventually.
She keeps saying that.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's not happening. No, it's not happening. So anyway, this is Wake Me When You Need Me, a Halo Ruby crossover.
Fucking
Okay.
leave Halo alone. It's got enough fanfic. It's got enough shitty Microsoft-sponsored fanfiction.
Fun fact, we actually queued this story up back in 2017, and it has not updated since then.
Curious.
Small blessings from the Lord, I suppose.
Alright. Alright
When
then.
this coming?
Yeah, yep. So, this is by Ace of Spades 44, very original username. There's 43 more of them. The world of Remnant. A world under siege. A world teetering on the edge of ruin. A world with little hope. But is it really? No, this is not me reading summary at this now. That's like me asking, like, is it really, like... I don't think you really can say that when you're trying to do a crossover story of, like, the world of Remnant, it's a dark and grim place. It's like, unless you're doing this fucking, like, Ruby AU like I am, where the Grim are an actual legitimate threat and are, like, an actual problem, then maybe you can say world under siege. But if you're like, oh yeah, Ken and Ruby world is under siege by Grim, that's why they have such advanced technology and can go into world wars with each other and have such lax security on everything.
They had two wars in recent memory: the Faunus War and the Great War. Like,
Which, by the way, side note, if negative emotion is what draws the Grim, how do you actually have a war against other people? Like,
I like to extend upon that end. If negative emotions attract Grim, how the fucking hell do you make it to modern industrial society and then finally have a war on slavery?
I mean, yes. Valid point as well. Like, as soon as you've got anything above, like, five people on each side shooting at each other, like, You're gonna draw every Grim for 30 miles.
Wasn't
Emotional
didn't Core
depressive.
try to answer that question at one point in time with I think it
I'm
was
sure Court did, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be a good answer because it's a stupid question to have to
Oh,
ask.
it was a stupid fucking question. It was a stupid
Which,
fucking answer.
what-
His Forge story.
Oh, I
His
dropped
fantasy.
that at chapter 30 because it was
Oh.
taking too long. It's like I'll just binge it when it's done.
Yeah, there's like 300 chapters now or something. It's
I guess
done.
I'm not binging that
Yeah, no, it's
because again, like I don't know
Yeah.
how like fanfiction has completely fucked up people's understanding of pacing for one,
yeah.
but also his stuff that delves into like fantasy stuff consistently drags on too long. Like a number of the worst fantasy books I've ever looked at.
Oh no, it's straight
It's the
up.
fucking
He
point.
even marks it down. It's straight up like 10 fucking books. Like he marks that down in the chapter section. Like it's straight up. 10 fucking
Oh
books. I'm just like, bruh.
god.
Yeah. So anyway, he actually had an answer for that. So basically, in his fantasy version of Ruby, you know, the one with the game mechanics, the huntsmen are not participants in the war. They just sit there on the sidelines until all the pain, agony, and sorrow generated by the normal people killing each other draws Grimm in, and then it's the huntsman's job to kill the Grimm so the people can keep killing each other.
I mean, while I'll grant Core that that's a very human solution,
Yeah.
it's still fucking retarded.
Oh, yes, very much.
Yeah, that sounds like a not great solution.
It was
All right,
actually.
so
It was
huntsman,
actually.
you can't participate. You're just
Yeah.
gonna sit there and watch your friends and family kill each other
It was
over
actually pretty
probably
fucking
something
funny.
stupid.
Yeah, it was actually pretty fucking funny because how he had to depict it, because he likes he liked in the past, I suppose I would say, he liked trying to keep things kind of like consistent and coherent, and like so he was writing about like, how the army would send half of the army that was going to go fight in the fight because they couldn't they had to keep the other half back. They could fight off the inevitable Grim Swarm that would spawn from the battle. Each side would keep half of their army back to then fight the Grim.
But, like, at least that's an attempt at an explanation.
Right, but the problem is there wouldn't be a Grim Swarm if you didn't create one with the battle.
You're right. But by the way,
Yeah,
Max, I'm not sure why you sent me Bumblebee disguised as an Exia, but I approve.
That's a commission someone made of a perfect grade exit, so that cost them a pretty fucking penny.
Jesus Christ.
Boy,
Anyway,
all I'm saying is, it's
I'm-
Bumblebee Exia, and I approve
Yes.
this message.
It's a common thing you and I talk about sneaky private discussions
Yeah.
where it's pretty clear that Miles and Carrie don't understand this, and it extends to their fandom.
yeah.
Humanity's shown again and again that when there is a common problem, even the worst enemies will say, "Fuck this! You're our friend now, and we're going to take care of this new problem. Maybe we'll
Like-
fight when we kill it, but you know, for now, that will kill us. You
Yeah.
might kill us. That will kill us."
Basically, yeah.
To quote the Imperium, the enemy of my enemy dies second.
That too. But anyway. But when the legendary Spartan lands on the planet, he will give Remnant the one thing it needs.
A
Oh!
simple functioning AI.
No, hope, actually. The answer was
Really, I
hope.
feel like the AI is more important.
Yeah, because in actuality, everyone
Well,
on Remnant is hopeless.
You know,
And,
technically, Remnant already solved the AI problem with Penny. They made a perfect soul replica that could define itself.
didn't
So,
they do that using the Staff of Creation?
I don't remember. I just kind of blacked it out. I'm
That's
gonna be
fair, that's
honest.
fair, yeah, that's fair.
Like, the idea that they figured out on their own is a lot more interesting than to use the Staff of
Also-
Creation to kickstart it.
I would just like to point out here now, right?
Yep.
In the Black trailer, because that's something I had to like look over, because I'm writing
Yeah.
the Black trailer now.
Alright. I'm trying to think about what you would be complaining about here.
They have a fucking spider mech that we never see again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of like, he's gonna have a complaint. It's probably gonna be with the robots, but what would it be?
Like,
It's apparently a prototype or an old, outdated model.
It was
Well-
likely a prototype of the
The-
Elysian Paladin because you look at its torso is extremely similar.
Penny
If
can
it
function
was
in
meant to be a
humanity, she
proto-
can't function in society. Well, that's okay. Most people can't function in society either.
no, that's why she was sent to attend school so she could learn social skills. Odds are that, like Grabe mentioned, that was probably meant to be a prototype.
I mean,
But it wouldn't surprise me.
probably.
It's like, this is what we were going to put in the general public, but control group said freaky spiders are not good.
But the problem here is, they're right. So my second issue with this whole fucking thing is apparently it's a cargo passenger train, which is already dumb. But
No, hold on a second, Sneaky. You realize that trains that go long distance routinely have both cargo and like
Yes,
normal.
Yeah,
hold on
that's
though.
very cool.
Hold on though. Here's the problem. The problem with it being a cargo passenger train is it's a military advanced special prototype rich noble passenger train.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I knew exactly where Sneaky was going with this. By the way, the bigger problem is this is an SDC train. Why would you put passengers on when you are a known target of a terrorist guerrilla organization?
Not only that, right? Why is the military contracting out to the SDC to transport their prototypes when they're also a known target of the funnest terror group?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, the answer to that is because we have seen that the Atlas military is not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Okay, well, you have to draw the
yeah.
line between author incompetence and implied competence. And the authors imply that Atlas is this hyper competent, super authoritarian government that democratically elects its leaders.
Yeah. By the way, Sneaky, speaking of Atlas, Beast Beacon uploaded today.
Beast of Beacon.
It's Core's thing where Adam is attending Beacon.
Oh, yes.
It was working out super well, and then he also apparently took the same stupid pills Miles and Care did when writing Volume 7 and 8, Ironwood.
Great.
Oh.
So, Adam is outed publicly. Like,
Wait,
it hit
who's
the
outed?
news. Adam's outed
Okay.
as the former White Fang cell leader.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Ironwood's reaction is, we're going to put a collar on him.
Oh my god.
And Core even says, I'm aware of the optics. Core, I don't think you actually have him aware of the optics of leashing
Core,
a
I
faunus.
don't think you're actually aware of the optics.
Like, he has Ironwood saying, like, I'm aware of the optics, but it's for the greater good. It's like, okay, but
Okay,
one,
okay,
this
no,
is the
hold
White
on.
Fang, more ammo. Two,
What?
it's a
What's the
collar on a
greater-
funnus. What do you mean you're aware of the optics?
Greater... What?
What? Tell me, is the greater good your cat fetish? Is that what this is?
See, this is why it, okay, obviously I put more than, 30 minutes of time thinking in about, all of the factions in this Ruby rewrite that Moth is currently paying me to do.
Never mind 30 minutes of thought. You spent 40 minutes breaking them down for us.
Yes, that's
after
true.
the stream.
No, I'm aware, but, that was obviously I have. But, even, that the 30 minutes that I joke about is about the time it took me up to just think of the general vagaries of each government, right? And it's just that would just make such a more sensical, oh, why is Atlas absolute dicks to everyone? Oh, it's because I live in a frozen hellhole of a wasteland, and basically human life has no value beyond its ability to create resources for continued existence. Oh, wow, that solves, all of the issues you guys want to tackle with how people are treated. So what is Atlas actually? Oh, they're an American-German XP who is taken over by a businessman who pressed a button on a phone and somehow won the election. And then a terrorist cell threatened everyone and then counter won the election.
That's how that works.
Counter won the election. I like the way you put that.
It's like,
That is what happened, unfortunately.
what?
No, Nicky, they're fortifying democracy.
Yeah, they fortified the democracy.
Oh, fuck, that was actually a good one. Oh.
Yeah, they
right.
first released some more terrorists on the world, and then they shot up the Black Ops team, and then they imprisoned the president and the general, and then fortified that election thoroughly.
I need to remember that one.
Oh, don't worry, kids. kids, Osama bin Laden might be going to your school, but now he's got a kinky bum collar on. You should be sick. Yeah. The previously suicidal terrorist is now armed with a bomb collar. This definitely will not backfire.
Of course. And this can only go well.
Yeah, it was Jackie supposed to be a Trump dig. Yes, both Ironwood and Keys were supposed to be separate parts of the Trump dig.
Yeah, whether it's confirmed from the authors or not, at this point, with the optics of politics and first teeth,
Yeah.
that's probably super likely.
Well, I mean, because the reason why I even say that, especially because I don't think they've ever actually come out and said it directly, but they've
as far as I know,
Oh,
they haven't. They
they're
aren't
idiots
quite
to do
that
so.
stupid yet.
Yes, I mean, fucking Barbara's been saying some really goddamn dumb shit, but
It's
What's
Barbara,
Barb
it's
been
her
saying?
MO.
I mean, yeah, first of all, saying stupid stuff is kind of Barb's thing. But what has she been saying?
I forget exactly like the most recent shit, but I do remember one notable one. If you guys don't want to see Bumblebee, stop paying for Rooster Teeth first, or something like that.
They did.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
I stopped paying because you assholes went. You reneged on the contract I signed with you 2021. About 7 years ago, you promised me I'd be grandfathered in no matter what. So,
Yeah, well, that part of the agreement didn't get grandfathered in.
apparently not. Also, like, again, a lot of the writing quality started taking a weird dip. It's like,
But no, as I was saying, specifically in the show, they have brought up arguments against Atlas made by the heroes that have been specifically used against the US in the past, such as the world police argument, both being for and against. Because, you know, whenever anything bad happened, it's the US should stop being world police. And then whenever anything bad happened to the US didn't do, it's why isn't the US being the world police? They should have stopped this. They've done both.
Curious.
Yeah. Literally,
I mean,
why
if they
is
were really
Atlas-
trying to make it the America XP, then
Yeah.
it makes sense for those to happen.
Yeah.
Because realistically, that would happen with any kind of world police thing.
Well, yes, but the other shit, like... that, Atlas... This thing was delivered by Ruby, too. It's like, Atlas shouldn't be prioritizing its own people. The rest of the world needs them, too.
Yes, this makes sense.
We're not even... Was it like in chapter 3, I think it was? Everyone was complaining about Atlas having brought its military to the festival. And then now
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh my god, why isn't Atlas bringing its military to our country? To our sovereign country?
yeah.
Also, they...
Hey,
Yeah,
who's shuffling
makes
something
sense.
in the background?
Also, they
That
made
is my popcorn.
statements like, oh, Ozpin was so wise and intelligent that he saw beyond the need for war, so he disarmed the whole country.
Except for this one.
Yeah, except for Atlas, apparently.
Yeah, you know,
Except for the giant. That'd be like the UC saying we've completely disarmed,
Wait.
except for the Gundams.
okay. Alright, I want to point something out. Manto was known to be a big problem,
Yeah.
and then Osmond talked the Three Kingdoms after the Great War into disarming and was like, we'll just have Atlas do it. Presumably Atlas was still the most racist of the kingdom at the time.
I mean, that's what...
Why did he leave the race supremacists the keys to the nukes?
Because he
I
actually
mean-
secretly hates the Faunus and was really hoping Atlas would wipe them out.
Like,
Remember, he just woke up one year and Faunus were there.
What the fuck? Why are there furries everywhere?
Why has the human population percentage dipped below 100%?
There can only be one solution. A nuclear holocaust.
Now,
oh,
hold on, boys. It's getting a little inquisitive in here.
Look, I'm just really
Yeah,
impressed. I'm actually just shocked, frankly. I'm actually frankly shocked that they even went with the whole idea at all in the first place.
Look, all I'm gonna say is a friendly reminder: Warhammer
Well-
40k has 4 accepted breeds of mutant humans.
Yeah, I know.
Psychers, people strong enough to punch through a building,
Yeah.
people small enough to fit through a sewer grate,
Yeah.
and furries.
Yes, this is true. Anyways, as I was saying, like
Yeah.
I'm just going out here and saying that the
Okay, there, Sneaky.
the faunists are
Thanks.
supposed to be a representative of black people, and so the writers put in to the show a land of faunists called Zoo, where all of the countries put their faunists after they won the war.
Wait, no.
That is
Oh
accurate.
my god, yeah. I completely forgot that's what that word actually means.
Yeah.
Oh. By the way, I want to point out, Menagerie in scale is
Yes.
super small compared to everything
Honestly,
else.
that's what I said. The faunists won the war, so all the countries put them in Zooland.
That's amazing.
All right, guys, you won the war. Because you won the war, we're all going to put you on an island. Okay, what's the name of the island?
No,
Zoo.
No, the Atlas representative starts to speak up. It's called a zoo. Yeah, gets elbowed by the other nations. It's called Menagerie.
Menagerie. It's the Valian word for good place.
I appreciate the Atlas rep just throwing Vale under the bus there.
I was saying, so literally banned word 1, then they all exiled themselves to Zoo. No, Isley, it would be like if banned word 1 and they all exiled themselves to explicitly banned word land.
They went back to Africa. Certain country in Africa, below
Yeah.
Mali.
Just add some R's and G's to that one. And yeah, it'd be like if we just put all of the all the people there. Yeah. So I'm really not sure where they were going with that one.
Yeah, like taking a moment to really think about that. It's like, wait, hang on a second. Wait, no, hang on.
And this is portrayed as a good thing.
But wait. Hang on. If all these minorities live on an island,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're being
well, Shelby pointed it out.
Hang on. And they're being discriminated against,
Yeah.
and they also commit terrorism. Does
Yeah.
that mean they're also Irish?
I think the big problem is they're
mean-
not really portrayed as like they try to claim they are, but the fact that they won the war.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, well, who won the Civil
Well,
War?
technically, Max, the Vietnamese also won the war, but I don't think any
Exactly.
Vietnamese person's gonna tell you that they did.
Okay, except the
Sort of.
world governments as a
That
whole
piece.
are like all admit that they won. Like everyone's like, no, we won the war. We just took the shit into the stick for some reason. Didn't make enough demands.
I mean, technically speaking, it could be like a situation where a bunch of suicides were like, yeah, we're gonna blow up every center of India, collapse, unless you say we win, and so all the countries were like, okay, fine, you win, and then they were like, we're gonna gift you this land that none of us want. I mean, that we were all looking at.
There's this
Actually-
island called Greenland.
Very nice Greenland.
In defense of
would
the
not
land,
be
they
there.
in defense of like me, Australia. Unlike Australia, there are no Grimm. There's nothing there trying to kill them. It seems pretty fertile.
Yeah,
Like,
this is all true.
As far
this
as
is all
things
true.
go,
Yeah.
it's pretty much untouched nature.
Yeah,
From what
What
and-
country are we
seen of it.
talking about?
And yet, Max,
New
Ruby
Zealand.
Cannon. And yet, Max, all
Oh.
of the fauna seem to not want to live there.
Curious.
To be fair,
despite these
to be fair,
explicitly, yes,
Sneaky,
yeah.
would you right
yeah,
back to your example?
Yeah.
If you were banned word 1,
yeah.
would you want to live in a place called banned word 1 land?
No, I wouldn't. But see, the thing here is I just like to point out that again, this is a constant political argument that the political alignment of the show creators constantly fail at in terms of arguing the position of. Country is super racist, sexist, and xenophobic, and yet they still have hundreds of thousands of people flooding the border, desperately trying to live there. What does that say about the place they came from?
Exactly.
So you're reading about Ruby cringe this weekend?
Yeah, well, Halo Ruby cringe in specific, but I just took really major league gumption with just how the author is portraying Remnant for his own savior story. Because the idea is that Master Chief from Halo ends up in Remnant and somehow makes everything better by being the Master Chief in Ruby.
By being an unstoppable killing machine?
Yeah, I'm really not sure.
Is that what Ruby needs?
Yeah, it's.
I'm really not sure how endless murder is supposed to solve Ruby's political situation. But
Well, honestly, that makes it funny when you think about Remnant. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're a unstoppable killing machine. Get in line.
yeah.
Master Chief is a lot more overpowered than a lot of people think.
I do have to say though, I really
You're
didn't
not
like
wrong.
Doom and Furnace. That was a Remnant and Furnace. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Remnant and Furnace.
That
was
just updated in last
that
month.
did just
I think.
update. Yeah, that was pretty good actually.
It's going places.
Yes, it is.
I'll fully admit, I kind of turned my brain off for that one almost completely, but
Oh,
it's got
no,
interesting. He had really. He's
Doom story in general, you should probably turn your brain off as a rule.
Doom?
Yeah,
Or
Doom.
Doom?
Doom.
As in
Yeah.
Doom 2016?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't occur to me that there might be Doom fanfiction.
Yeah, they're usually garbage, but sometimes you find really good ones, like this Doom Ruby story that I recommended like several months ago. And the general premise is that one day, someone does something really fucking dumb and opens a portal to hell on Remnant, and demons start showing up in Remnant. And
Is Remnant the planet or a country?
Yeah.
Remnant is the planet.
Okay. I
and,
thought Remnant was like a city built on an ancient
No.
machine or something. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, you'd think that'd be way cooler than it actually is.
Yeah.
And then the Doom Marine shows up and just generally goes hyper murder, Doom style, on a lot of characters.
Like the
It's just an
I would
update for him.
actually appreciate some Doom fan fiction back before Doom Eternal because I hate the story of Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I sort of like the connections that Doom Eternal made between the original Dooms and New Doom, and the timeline that it gave us, but
It's
not...
kind of fun, but I like there's no mystery left anymore.
Yeah, that is...
There's no
the issue,
Lovecraftian horror left anymore, and the new designs, the art direction is fucking awful.
It's
So
not
yeah,
good,
I'd actually like some fan fiction of Doom 2016 before Doom Eternal came out, particularly.
There was a really good story called Rip and Tear, and it was a 40k Doom crossover.
Yeah, but that one stopped updating.
That one stopped updating like 2 years ago, yeah. Unfortunately, the author tried to get super, like, complicated and deep and complex with his plot lines.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah,
I did have
Yeah.
an idea for Doom fanfiction once upon a time. It's
so-
very simple.
Yeah.
Just a short fan fiction that would explore the nature of the Sentinels and the Wraiths as presented in Doom 2016.
Sure.
And my idea was that the Wraiths were actually just essentially the cursed spirits of their deceased wives. These men were chosen as soldiers because demons took family members from them, specifically the wives. And so there's spirits, the Wraiths, I'm sorry, the ghosts of their wives essentially were their parents.
Just like
Kind of like banshees.
demon cook.
Yes.
Demon cookery, really?
Wait, but how could they tell the difference between their wives and the wraiths?
They can't. They are the Wraiths. That was the story idea.
Right.
It's kind of
I
like
don't
how
know.
the Icon of Sin was the resurrected child of one guy. Oh, am I spoiling things here?
No, you completely missed my joke.
Oh.
I was saying, how is the wife any different from her demon version?
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Just fucking like a jetliner.
If
just
a
going over
child
your head.
could come back as the Icon of Sin, maybe through that same kind of sorcery,
Yeah.
their dead wives, killed during the first demonic invasion, would come back as these ultra powerful wraiths.
I
That was the
guess.
idea.
Yeah, maybe. No,
Now the wraiths don't mean matter at all.
Yeah, not at all actually. Yeah, sounds pretty dull. But that's the nature of. That's the problem of Doom fanfics is when you try to get deep with them, when you try to get philosophical with them, it kind of misses because Doom is kind of just about shooting demons.
I was
What
going
is
the
my
universe
purpose?
route.
Asks the Doom Marine.
I like how
Fucking
everyone
shoot
decided to
bitches.
talk at once for that one.
My idea was to actually explore the power of the Wraiths, because in 2016 it was presented like ardent energy came from the Wraith.
I believe it does. Like that.
Yeah.
In 2016 it did, not so much anymore.
But anyway,
It's retarded. Not gonna lie.
yeah, Warhammer, yeah. The Warhammer
War-
40k.
Warhammer!
The
The
Warhammer
new
40k
version of
Doom
Warhammer
story,
Sounds like a
40K.
shitty MOBA.
That was a crossover.
Hardcore.
It started off well. Doom Marine comes in, starts murdering the shit out of Chaos, and everyone's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I appreciate the Chaos murder. And then he tried doing this like super complicated plot where the Doom Marine just accepts being arrested by an Inquisitor and getting stripped of his armor and weapons.
Well, and here's the thing, right? The Inquisition doing Inquisition, right? The Inquisition going,
well, no, to
okay,
be fair, the
this is-
Inquisition doing stupid Inquisition things that ultimately backfire on humanity is normal.
Oh, absolutely. But what I was gonna say was, the Inquisition going, this is armor we've never seen before, with guns that shouldn't work as well as they do, with someone we've never seen before, and he's just fighting chaos. We need to find out what he's doing. Also, we need to find out how tainted he is, because of course they're just going to assume the big taint.
I mean, he literally glowed gold as he consumed a demon soul and obliterated it utterly in front of people.
I just have to say this because it sounded like you were about to break off in song there for a second when you said the words the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, listen. There's basically every time I bring up the Inquisition, there's a jaunty little tune in my head.
But yeah.
I hear Mel Brooks' song every time I hear those two words.
So yeah, anyway, yeah, the Inquisition arrests him, and then the author got major flack for the next 5 chapters, because like the next 5 chapters that he wrote, that took longer and longer between each chapter, were chapters that weren't from the Doom Marine's perspective, and from a bunch of different people's perspectives about some Alpha Omega Legion plot about them being betrayed by themselves again. And people just completely just railed the author every single time he output another chapter that did not have the Doom Marine in it.
Amazing.
And which, I mean, makes sense if you're gonna write a fucking Warhammer 40k story and the Doom Marine in it. Like,
Here
why?
for the Doom Marine, not Alfarius Omegon dicking himself in the ass for the 30th time.
Yeah, right. And then he's just
Only
stopped
the
up.
30th?
Well, we can only count 30 times because he erased the rest of them.
Yeah.
Good enough.
But yeah.
Well, and then there's the 31st time, which everyone knows about, but we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah. It turns your insides into jelly if you do.
What?
It's a joke.
Okay, so if
No,
you don't
no.
know anything about 40k,
I
there's...
know a little bit about 40k.
Okay, so you know
40k
what's
fans have
Primarch.
made certain of that.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, fair. You know what a Primarch is, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That
so...
half-human sons of the God Emperor. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so at one point, there was a Primarch who was actually
Horus.
a set of twins.
Oh.
And
Remember those ones.
their names were Alfarius and Omegon. Real fucking subtle, right? And they ran the Alpha Legion, which was the Emperor went, I really need a Spec Ops version of my Marines who will kill whoever I want them to without asking any pesky questions like Raven Guard does. And that was the Alpha Legion. And they were completely hidden from most of the other legions for a super long time, and no one ever knew, for the super long time, no one knew that Alfarius and Omegon were twins, and they were like, how the fuck are you on this side of the galaxy? Weren't you just on that side of the galaxy? I'm a spooky individual, and I'm very sneaky. They're just fucking twins.
Okay. And what is about 31 different
Sorry,
fuck-ups?
and so the whole chaos thing happens, and some of the Alpha Legion turned traitor, some of the Alpha Legion didn't turn traitor, and then some of the Alpha Legion pretended to stay loyal while being traitors, and some of the Alpha Legion turned traitor while actually still being loyal.
And sometimes they forget which one they are.
We're not even joking about that. That part is
I
literally
believe you.
canon.
Yeah, and so
Thousands of years, and they're fucked up by chaos juice. right?
Basically, the general joke about the Alpha Legion is that pretty much every single time they're basically the parody of the CIA. So Alpha Legion has this big plot that's
Isn't the CIA the parody of the CIA?
Yes.
Hey,
They have
listen,
this
you are
big
correct,
plot
but
that's going to do something, and it's probably going to hurt someone somewhere. But then another section of the Alpha Legion has a counter plot to counter that plot because they think they're countering the people who are countering the counter. And then, yeah, basically it's just a bunch of dipshits who think they're being smarter than they actually are. Ruining all of their own plans. With other plans. Meant to ruin their other plans. Yeah, don't
No,
at me.
I got it. Yeah, it's the CIA and FBI. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like I said. We haven't even started the summary. Good show. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so anyway, as I said, fucking, Master Chief showed up,
anything
and
important.
apparently has... The problem with this story is that literally the summary is just so fucking bland, uninteresting, and wrong at the same time. It's really impressive that the author manages to use so few words and still manage to be all of them. Master Chief shows up and somehow gives Remnant hope, implying that he's somehow better than any huntsman.
like,
I mean, I don't know. I guess he can outrun most of the standard huntsmen. Um, because I don't think huntsmen can run as fast as a car typically. Because Ruby's semblance is supposed to be super speed, and she's not faster than a car.
Can't Master Chief go 50 miles per hour, I think it is?
Yeah, something around there.
Unless he like really pushes himself and injures himself.
I mean, like, the problem is that speed is actually, like, the only thing he has going for him. And, like, yeah, he's got a heavy suit and he's pretty fucking strong. But, like, even then, Spartans fought Sagheeli on mostly even ground. Like,
Well, the Spartans were outnumbered 100 to 1 for the
right,
Sangheili.
but, I mean, in a 1v1 scenario, it could actually go either way.
Well, with plasma weapons, absolutely.
No, like, without
no,
guns.
like,
Just-
Spartan punching Sanghili to death, it's a 50-50.
Yeah,
Sangheili aren't the brutes, are they?
the elites.
No, they're the
They're the
elite.
lizard ones.
Yeah.
Some elites. Some elites are that great.
Well, yeah,
Not all.
sure, like the leaders and shit like that. Yeah, but like that's the
Yes.
point though, is like they aren't even genetically and chemically altered, and they're able to 1v1 successfully some dude who's got like a 0.001% chance of living through this process is literally a superhuman in the best armor the UNSC can produce, and in a hand-to-hand combat still might lose.
And these are 9-foot tall aliens in much more advanced power suits.
Actually, not all. They don't
No.
wear power suits at all.
The Sangheili armor?
They wear plate mail.
No, it's shielded. It is not powered.
Yeah, it's plate mail with a shield.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But they also have plasma weapons, which are the main
Oh, well, yeah,
difference.
no,
there.
obviously when you have weapons in the mix, they're even more deadly, but the problem is that even in a 1v1 scenario with literally no weapons and they're only wearing their armor on them, the Sagheeli can still win. And it's just like, okay, they're clearly, for all of their specs, they're not the end-all be-all. They're not like, oh, I'm gonna fucking go Superman on this shit and win the day. And that's sort of the
And-
point, is that...
More importantly, that doesn't even cover like the brutes, right? Like imagine how
brutes are
problematic
OP.
the brutes could have been if
Right.
they had been given
Actual armor.
just the elite armor, right? Like,
Yeah.
because even when you get to Halo 3, when the prophets are like, we should probably
Jesus
give
Christ,
them
fucking brutes.
shields, they gave them shitty armor that, oops, the shield's overloaded, so it's broken forever, dumbass.
Yeah. Well, my problem, what I'm trying to get to here is this is post Halo 3, I believe, because obviously, the whole Master Chief drifts through space thing through a portal, big fodder for fanfiction, crossovers especially.
What is?
At the end of Halo 3, Master Chief drifts through
Oh.
a subspace portal with the ship unpowered and just like kind of floating.
That is definitely crossover.
Yeah, it's crossover
Material
fuel.
right there.
And he's in cryo sleep, so you can even hand wave the whole time thing. And so, this is what I'm assuming this is post Halo 3. And even if it's not, like, again, the technology that he has access to has to be maintained. Like, that's something that's not really, like, covered in the games. But, like, they have fully dedicated repair suites for this armor.
Yep.
That's not something you can do in the field. Like, yeah, I guess you can make minor field repairs, but you're going to reach a point in time where you're not going to be able to repair the armor anymore. And then you're just going to be a pretty strong human. Which, you know, unless you're going to say he mystically has a soul and now he's suddenly better, but at the same point, that's like someone from Krypton reading a story about some guy named Clark Kent going to this planet called Earth and he's going to save them all. And the person from Krypton's like, how the fuck is Clark going to save them all? He's just a fucking baby. It's not like he has superpowers going to that planet. You know what I mean? Where it's yes, well, by going on Earth, now he has superpowers. By Master Chief going on Remnant, he's probably going to get his soul awakened, which means he's probably suddenly going to get superpowers, which is going to mystically make him better than everyone else in Remnant. But when your summary is saying that he's going to show up and save the day before he gets the it's implying before he gets the superpowers, he's going to show up and save the day and give everyone hope. Like, the summary itself
What is
not
the
saying,
actual technological level of Remnant?
yes.
Is it all over the place?
The technological level is yes.
So it is possible
It's
that
possible.
people from the Ruby universe could learn how to maintain the devices on that ship, including the repair suite.
Technically speaking, yes, but no at the same time, because the author's retarded idea.
I said it's possible, not that the author did that.
No, but I'm saying so the problem here, technically speaking, yes, because you'd have to have smart people to get this far in technology. But the problem is what I'm trying to say, is the authors of Ruby said that all Ruby technology is based off of a unique element only found on Remnant. And that there is no technology in Remnant that doesn't use this unique element. So they don't know what a normal battery is. They don't know what a normal phone is. They don't know how normal technology actually works, because everything they use uses this one unique element that's found nowhere else.
Well, I will make a counter in the author's defense.
Mm-hmm.
If we had such an element,
Yes.
would we also not replace hydropower and all this other stuff? And would we also not...
Oh, no,
doesn't mean we don't know how to do it.
But no, we would, but that's not my point. You said, can they maintain his armor? And I'm saying yes, but the problem is he's effectively landing on a planet that doesn't know copper can conduct electricity.
Actually, did they not know that?
No, they use dust.
Should I actually watch Ruby? Is it actually worth watching?
No, it's not.
Okay. You're trying to sell me on it. You almost got there.
I'm actually not trying to sell you
No,
on it.
we're doing the opposite of selling you on it.
No one's going to sell you on Ruby.
However, I do have this bridge that I would be interested in getting rid of for the low price.
No, I get it. I'm laughing on the inside.
But yes,
I really am. I'm not being an asshole.
Point being is that this story is garbage already by its premise alone, and that somehow Master Chief is going to bring an element to this world that hasn't been seen on this world before, despite the fact that people literally have pyrokinesis, hyper speed, hyper strength, flight, literal fucking immortality.
The ability to turn into a fucking bird.
Yeah, that shit too. But Master Chief, Mr. Test Tube Wonderchild, is going to somehow bring an element that has been never before seen on Remnant to the fight against the Grimm somehow. If that isn't just fucking air support from space, then I don't know what it is. And somehow he's going to give all of Remnant hope doing whatever he's doing, despite the fact that Huntsmen have been a source of hope for literally their entire civilization, because not having hope attracts Grimm, which kills your town. So I'm not really sure.
Watch Ruby. Does it not have at least some redeeming qualities? Is there parts of it that are entertaining?
The weapons are cool.
And you know what? First 2 seasons, there's some decent laughs to be had.
Yeah, sometimes you like laugh. Sometimes.
Okay, compared to, I'm not even going to use a great story, Legend of Korra.
No, I would watch Legend of Korra almost every single time.
Okay.
Over, yeah.
Because it was at least
Um,
watchable even in later seasons.
It's sort of like Avatar: The Last Airbender live action movie, where in
yeah.
the first half it kind of was like, okay, I mean this isn't that bad, and they did say a funny line right there, and then in the last half you're like, oh wow, why am I still watching this?
I mean, it looks like from a distance, it almost sounds like it has redeeming qualities, the way you guys talk about it.
That's just
Oh,
because
okay,
we
listen.
have
I-
sunk cost fallacy for it.
No,
Yeah.
hold
Okay.
on. Listen,
Potential, but they
I
squandered it
will
all.
put Ruby
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
in the same vein as like the Warcraft movie.
Oh,
I
yeah, that was
I
actually
forgot
good.
that was a thing.
It was not good. Let me finish, by the way. It could have been great.
Yeah.
There's a lot there that could have been great.
Mhm.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Is it at least entertaining? In a bad way? Kind of like
Ruby,
yeah,
the
no.
Warcraft movie.
There's
Ruby.
No.
Do not
No.
give a fuck about Warcraft.
No, you will literally, especially in the later seasons, you will literally sit there and seethe about how retarded the shit that is currently happening on screen is.
Well, I still enjoyed stuff that was pretty retarded, like a Kame Got Kill.
No, like, you will seethe. Like, the worst moments of Evangelion just turned into an entire season.
So, angst over parents and
oh yes.
weird
yeah.
sexuality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very inappropriate expressions of sexuality.
Yes.
Yes.
Probably banned in the Islamic world.
Two lesbians got together over murdering a guy.
Definitely banned in Islamic
works.
world.
I love how Max in the background is just like, can't even fucking say anything.
You're not wrong about that last one. That really is what pushed them together for some reason.
Wait,
Now that we've killed
you helped me
Jack's
murder my
boyfriend.
ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
What a bang?
Hell yeah.
I gotta know what you're biting your tongue about. I have to know.
No, that
No.
makes it even better now. Now that I'm thinking of it, that makes it even fucking better. They murdered the terrorist ex-boyfriend that Blake originally left because she didn't want to create terrorist. She didn't want to do a terrorist act that puts civilians in danger, and then proceeds to cut off communication for an entire town by blowing up the radio tower and performs a terrorist act on the military base defending the town.
Oh my god, that literally happened right after all that. Oh god.
Yeah.
That sounded just like that Indian laugh meme.
Sure, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then they proceeded to attempt to overthrow a government that had done nothing wrong
Yeah.
aside
Duly
from
elected government that's
Duly
literally
elected
done nothing.
government that did nothing wrong, yeah.
literally done nothing wrong aside from not telling people about Salem because they want to prevent panic
Mass panic,
and
yeah.
being overrun by the Grim. Like,
Yeah.
again,
You guys
They
are
said
making
we
me want
just-
to watch it. It sounds like I'm gonna be laughing my ass off the entire time.
There's plenty of stuff you can laugh at, but know that you're going in to laugh at something bad. You're not going in to laugh because there's good jokes.
okay,
The action isn't any good. The
No.
okay,
Oh, God.
the world
the-
design isn't any good.
Oh, Jesus
the
Christ.
World
no.
design's good.
things-
Action starts good.
okay, up until Volume 3, action is pretty consistently solid because that's when Monty was still alive.
Yeah, but the problem with
And-
the action being solid is it just draws attention to the fact that they're using literal cardboard for the background.
Yes. Also, the general walking animation pretty rough.
Literally everything but
That's why
the
I couldn't get
actions.
past. I couldn't even finish
Yeah, I was
episode
saying,
1 because the animation.
the first
Yeah.
season, literally everyone who isn't a main character is a black background shadow.
Yeah.
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 I
If
still
you can approach,
fondly remember when Max sent me the episode 1 for Ruby, and I responded back to him after watching it saying, I think you sent me the wrong clip. Was this the April Fool's joke?
I said no. That is really what it is.
The censored
Is this
version.
thing only popular because of waifu material?
No, it was
No,
mainly
actually,
popular because of the
not
guy
originally.
making it.
He
And
was
then
a
it got popular
well-known.
because of the white
Yeah.
material.
Monty Ohm was a very well-known, like, very fast fight choreographer in animation.
Fast, snappy action.
Yeah. And then it went to, okay, a lot of these character designs actually are solid from a just pure look at them on paper point of view.
Writers literally even said at one point, fully admitting, Monty himself also fully admitted that a majority of the characters were added and designed the way they were specifically for cosplay bait.
That doesn't surprise me. Monty did a lot of cosplaying himself. That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, well, you say cosplay bait isn't the right way, right? He said it because he wanted to make cool designs that people would want to cosplay. Yes, you could interpret that as...
Melanie and Militia were literally added in because someone asked him for a set of twins that could cosplay as.
Are they cute twins?
7.
Are those three-fingered girls I see everywhere?
Their concept art is a lot better than the final product.
Yeah.
Are these twins the ones I keep seeing everywhere? The black-haired elf girls with 3 fingers?
What?
I keep seeing fan art of these twin elf girls with black hair, and they have 3 fingers. I keep seeing fan art of them everywhere.
No, they are decidedly more
talking about.
Not sure what the hell you're on.
I'm gonna find them.
You do that.
I think Roger's on drugs again.
Please do.
Amid the inky blackness of space sat a green and blue Jew of a planet. Surrounded by...
You mean Jewel?
Surrounded by swirling
We heard what you said, Sneaky. We just...
And warmed by the rays of
well,
a
now you know it was on
parent
purpose.
star. The
Oh yes, that makes it so much better.
Served as a bastion of life against the violent expanse of the stars. Alright, so now
the violent expanse of the...
Yeah.
The stars are not violent, sir.
No, stars are pretty
They're pretty violent.
Yeah,
They're just vibing.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Stars are not a actively violent thing. Yes, stars are a somewhat violent natural phenomena. A star is not out to get you.
I don't know, man. Have you seen some of those solar flares? I'm pretty sure it's doing it on purpose.
If there was air between us and the sun, the sound from the sun would be enough to kill us all. Just the sound it makes.
Yeah. Thank God there
the
is
sun's
something.
just trying to be friendly.
We're not speaking its language properly.
Oh God, I just remembered when I first learned that fact. The first response was the screaming sun from Rick and Morty. That's one of the few times Rick and Morty made me cry.
Also, that's another thing I've just realized again, now that we're talking about cosmic shit. The fact that the moon has a giant hole in it would see the moon crash into the Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Because the only reason why a moon rotates a planet is because due to the speed it was heading towards the planet at, combined with its mass, ended up getting it caught in a constant cycle of slingshotting out of the planet's orbit, with the planet's gravity being too much, so it's constantly moving forward but sideways.
That is in fact how gravity works.
Fucking man, physics is weird, man.
Yeah.
Except the moon gets further away every year.
Yeah,
the
a
moon
little
is
bit.
falling away.
Yeah.
Like an inch every year.
The thing is, though, is that there's a giant hole in the Ruby Moon. Oh shit, is Remnant flat?
Oh fuck.
No, because we've seen people take trips around the world.
Have
Maybe
we?
they around a flat Earth.
Did they?
Just
Ow, my leg.
I actually don't.
No, I don't.
Oh, wait. I think we have seen a shot from space when Brother Gods fucked off and they shoulder bumped the moon.
Yes.
I think we did see a.
By the way, that's
why
why the moon has a hole in it. The gods didn't look where they were going when they yeeted their
Oh,
sun.
no,
he did
no,
on
they-
purpose.
that was
on
intentional.
purpose,
It
yeah.
was clearly intentional.
That was a blatant dick move. But all I'm saying is that the moon now has significantly less mass and was just shouldered by a god. It should have shot off in space and never come back.
So are the gods the real deal in this universe?
No. They're not.
We're not sure. They're certainly.
Okay, let's be clear. Even if
they
they are not actual deities, they certainly have sufficient powers to be labeled a deity.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's exactly what. So he said the real deal, and I was like, no, they're not omnipotent. They're not.
Oh yeah, no.
They're not all powerful.
They're not a be all. No.
Literally, a bunch of humans got together at one point and actually sort of made it hurt, and he was like, "Oh wow, fuck you guys for daring to use your magic against me. I'm gonna take it all away
Yeah.
and leave."
Yeah, they're. It's really fucked up, but I always kind of chuckle remembering the flashback we get of like, oh, this is what Ozpin's hiding about the past.
Yeah.
And we get the moment of them just resurrecting and killing Ozpin like 5 or 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
This is something the heroes did?
Yeah.
This is something the gods did.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were having an argument about because one is the god of creation, the other god of destruction, and the god of destruction decides to resurrect a human because someone came to him about it. And his brother didn't like that, so they just sat and had an argument and resurrected and killed this man 5 or 6 times in a row.
Because they asked nicely?
Because a human asked nicely, yes.
Yeah.
If they could revive her fallen, or her dead husband.
Yeah.
And did she revived her dead husband so she could kill him more times?
No.
No.
No. Okay, somebody's husband died. She was very sad. She went to a deity and was like, "Can you fix him?" And one deity was like, "Lol, no." The other deity was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Oh, the best part is the first deity said "lol no" was like, "Life all has its purpose, and when things die, they should stay dead." Also proceeds to kill life constantly on purpose, and then also bring this one guy back a bunch as well, because apparently life doesn't have its purpose, and that it isn't supposed to die unless he says so.
Despite allegedly death lying within his brother's realm.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if that's true, why can't the brother bring him back as a lich?
Yeah, honestly,
Like, it's his realm.
all I'm saying is that I'm pretty sure the whole God of Creation and Destruction thing wasn't like an actual hard set, like the yin yang sort of shit going on. I think one brother.
One of them was just like, "I'll take this group, you take that
Yeah,
group."
they were both literally they had the same power set, and one guy was like, "I'm gonna make this sandcastle," and the other guy was like, "I'm gonna dig a hole." And then he came
Go
back
fuck
and
your sandcastle.
and then he
make a
came back and
sandcastle. I'm
saw
gonna
his
dig a
brother
hole.
built the sandcastle, and he's like, "Well, that's a pretty good sandcastle. I'm gonna bash it now with my shovel into my hole."
But those are the twins I was talking about, by the way, that I keep seeing
Yeah.
everywhere.
No, that's
Yeah,
Monster
Monster
Hunter.
Rise. Yeah. Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah, no, the twins we're talking about are the ones that Great linked.
Found much better fan art of them.
Yeah, we know.
But yeah, so anyway, blah blah blah, garbage ass the plot summary, garbage. Blah blah blah, unending struggle against immortal enemies called the Grim. Blah, blah,
No,
blah,
the enemies aren't mortal. They just keep making more of them. Like,
blah blah blah. But it's not surprising that basically no one looked to the stars. No, I don't know, man. Honestly, it is surprising. If your entire civilization was constantly on the edge of just being annihilated one day by an unending enemy, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, all right, how the fuck do we get out of this
Do
place?
not have 5 fingers, Craig. They have 3 fingers. Count them.
And don't even get this started.
One,
I'll kick
two,
both of you.
4, 5. Amazing.
Yeah, honestly, it's like it's the same fucking shit. Fucking, oh wow, ocean's dangerous to live in, so animals went on to land, and we're like, wow, it's way less dangerous than the fucking ocean. Fucking, oh wow, being on this planet is dangerous to live in, so then animals didn't fucking live on that planet anymore. Just saying, you can't be like, oh, well, they were too concerned with the enemy at the gates, so they decided to stop looking for a way to not have enemies at the gates. Okay. Technology, apparently, isn't a thing.
Amazing.
Blah, blah, blah. Fewer still would ever recognize a derelict vessel hurtling towards them. Yet, this vessel was built for war. Cut into amidships.
technically accurate, but very poorly written?
No, because it says cut into amidships, not cut amidship.
Well, no, the ship was technically cut into amidships. It was sliced in half.
Yeah, but the other half didn't go to the same place it did.
I mean, you're right. I'm just saying,
Also-
technically.
Also, amidships is a word about the ship to describe the area between the bow and the stern. So literally, it's not saying it's been cut into 2 ships. It's saying
Yes.
it's saying it was cut multiple times in the middle of the ship, which is false. The vessel was
Yes.
large
Now that I
but
now that I
harmless.
have been told the proper definition of the word, you are correct, Sneaky.
Without power and lacking many of its weapons, it could not hope to face anything more than an errant space rock and win. Probably not even a space rock. And yet it carried the
Just like
greatest
imagine how fast
soldier-
those things are going.
Yeah. And yet it carried the greatest soldier in the history of the galaxy upon
Nope.
this ship.
Nope,
slept
I
the
have
hero
really
of
bad news for you.
humanity.
I have really bad news for you. The Arbiter is technically more badass.
That's actually fair enough, yeah.
What, because of his higher kill count, or because of the things he suffered?
Yes.
The thing that he
Okay.
suffered,
Yes, I agree.
including getting the job done with worse gear.
Yes.
Here's
True.
literal
You're
ceremonial
right.
armor. Go fucking win. We're not even gonna give you a gun. Okay.
Here's literal ceremonial armor. Literal ceremonial suicide armor
Yes, suicide armor, yeah.
Yes.
that we have forced thousands of your people to ritualistically die in.
The power of Japan.
Power of Japan, baby. The Master Chief stirred inside his cryopod, blah blah blah. Don't stress your body, blah blah blah. Why was he waking up? Why'd you wake me? What? No, hello? Haha, wow, you're literally just ripping dialogue. Blah blah blah. Sensors that aren't
Wait,
offline.
wait,
they
Siki,
were-
here's an
Hold
important
on,
question.
hold on.
Does the armor still have the cod piece?
I don't know.
Fucking joke from shit-ass Halo 4. Because they took his cod piece away for some reason.
I didn't play Halo 4.
Halo 4 was
Halo
fun.
4
It was
was
just half
okay.
as long as it needed to be.
Literally,
I loved it while I was playing
walked
it.
into my roommate playing Halo 4, and the moment I walked into my roommate playing Halo 4, it was playing the cutscene where Master Chief stabs a K-bar into a starship and uses that to travel through hellspace.
Talking.
Which Tuesday, to be honest.
And I look to my roommate and I go, so do you think he stabbed the starship with the K-bar to distract us from the fact that that ship can't go through slipspace? Or do you think this ship went through slipspace to distract us from the fact he just stabbed the ship with K-bar? My roommate goes, probably both.
That's not wrong.
I liked the game up until it ended. Because I'm like, wait, this game only took 4 hours of my life to beat? That's
didn't-
fucking bullshit.
I didn't like the game, I didn't like the guns, I didn't like the multiplayer. I didn't like the company, I didn't like the culture.
I really hated the multiplayer. Because they were like, guys,
I
we've
did not.
used normal bullet physics this entire time. But what if we switch to hit scan?
Oh yeah, is that what happened? Really?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Alright, yeah, so anyway, also, yeah, apparently, like, oh, hey, Master Chief, you woke up finally. We also attached a jetpack to your back. You didn't notice until now. You actually had it on this whole time. It was just a firmware update was preventing you from using it. What?
That's a fucking hell of a firmware update, lad.
God damn.
Firmware updated your suit into having a jetpack.
Oh.
Oh, shit! Getting the idea back again!
Oh no.
Oh no.
Ruby
Oh, fuck.
patch
He's
notes.
getting ideas. Oh no.
Ruby Scythe now deals 5 less melee damage per hit. Ruby takes out her scythe and gets noticeably duller along the blade. There we go, yeah, just reality patch into existence. Ren now has a jetpack.
Hey, Ren looks a lot like Ingenium, so we gave him motors in his legs. What the fuck? Ah!
Well, speaking of jetpacks, have you guys seen the new jetpacks from the Gravity company? It's a company called Gravity.
No.
Yeah, it's this company called Gravity, and they have produced a $500,000 jetpack that is capable of self-sustained independent flight of single person.
And it's $500,000, you said?
$500,000.
Okay.
And it can be used to actively board a captured ship, and the British Navy is currently training its soldiers in its usage to repel pirates.
But with Cary Grant dead, how are they going to train anybody to use them? Who's going to train them? He's the only man we know who's used it more than once. Was I disconnected?
Does anyone understand
No.
what he's saying?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
As usual,
yeah.
Rams makes no sense.
okay,
Cary Grant in the first James Bond movie rode a jetpack.
Oh,
And I said, without him in the British forces anymore, who's going to train the next generation to use jetpack?
yeah, Rance.
No,
your-
see,
your
we
age is-
heard the joke.
yeah.
We just didn't understand the joke because we didn't watch the first Bond movie because we have taste.
Yeah,
It was fucking ridiculous.
I'm
It's a
sorry,
meme
my,
that he rode jetpack.
My oldest Bond movie is Good Day to Die. I'm sorry, man.
I can't remember the last Bond movie I saw. I barely watched any of them. I should watch them.
We used normal bullet physics this whole time, but now it's time to be Destiny. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, fuck Destiny so much. I've never played it, but fuck it.
It is something, let me tell you.
Fuck it hard.
Forget.
Well, here's the thing: the first Destiny was fun. There was a lot of stuff that was fun in it, and then Bungie decided that people having fun was lame.
Fun is illegal. We've patched that out of the game. That's an actual quote from an April Fool's patch for I forget what company. It was either Blizzard or Bungie, I think it was. They released.
That's fantastic.
They've released an April Fool's patch that said something along the lines of like, we have noticed a complaint. We have heard complaints about our game no longer being fun. This was a mistake, and we apologize. We have removed fun from the game completely, in its entirety. This was an unintentional bug.
Fun was an unintentional bug, yes. Like rocket jumping.
But, I mean, fair enough. If it had been old Blizzard, I'd have been like, haha, they're making fun of the people who are shitting on their patches because they don't understand what bounce is. Now I'm like, I don't think Bungie quite gets the joke anymore.
Yeah,
Blizz.
Blizzard's, oh my god, Blizzard's recent April Fool's patch was so fucking tone deaf. Oh my god.
Were Blizzard the ones in charge of Diablo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Oh.
So
Hope it didn't blow out
fucking
anybody's
tone
eardrums.
deaf. Their WoW patch was, people were in literal uproar because they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna implement all of these features. By the way, it's April Fool's. Just kidding, we're not implementing any of these features. And instead of like making a bunch of joke features, they added in a bunch of like actually cool, useful features
that people wanted.
that the community has been asking for years. They're like, yeah, let's include that in the joke patch. And it's like, bruh. Fucking
You see,
bruh.
in bird culture, that's called a dick move.
So it was even more tone deaf. They're out of.
Yeah.
That's never gonna stop being great.
Is this supposed to be an April Fool's joke? No, we're serious. Oh.
Do you not have phones?
Do you guys not have phones? Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Holy shit, man.
like,
I was never a Blizzard fan to begin with. I never liked any of their games. When I saw that, I'm like, holy shit. That is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
like
that was-
I used to be a big fan of Blizzard. I actually
I was a
stopped
huge
supporting.
fan.
I actually stopped supporting Blizzard over the Hong Kong thing. Like that day, I was like,
Oh.
okay, I enjoyed Overwatch. I enjoyed StarCraft 2. I'm uninstalling all of them. I paid money for them. I'm uninstalling them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I had to stopping supporting Blizzard with Cataclysm's disastrous handling. About midway through Cataclysm, so that's about like 2012-ish. Shit started going really downhill in terms of enjoyability of playing, and that's where me and a lot of other people started leaving the game. And
Cataclysm was the turning point.
yeah, Cataclysm was the turning point. Everyone
Was there a lot of pause in the company before then?
Was there a lot of what in company before then?
Pause. P-O-Z.
What the
You
fuck?
guys aren't familiar with that term?
No.
It means AIDS. Is there? Am I allowed to say the F word? The other F word?
Definitely 1000% not. That's like
Okay.
that'll offend literally every Twitch mod in existence.
I'm serious. Are you guys kidding? Am I allowed to say
I'm
F-A-G-D?
100%
No, you're
serious.
literally
I'll
not.
literally ban you from the server if you say that.
Okay. Well,
on the
F
on,
A
on
F
live.
A effigy.
Yes,
Effigy.
yes, fun stuff. Yeah, fine.
Yes.
No, I'm aware. No, Blizzard was originally a very common tail, very small time company for a very long time. And they didn't really hit it big and started getting really, really big until, what would you say, Atin, Gray, Burning Crusade? Post Burning Crusade?
I mean, they started. No, let's be fair. They started hitting their stride around. I would say probably around the start of WoW, right? Because that was when they had no, that was when they had a guaranteed set of continuous income.
No, but what you don't remember is Burning Crusade almost broke the company. They almost went bankrupt with that.
Yeah, that's right.
I was way too young for that.
So, yeah, I would say maybe Wrath of Lich King then was where they started fucking rapidly expanding and getting huge.
But even then, right? Like, they did fine, because, like, StarCraft 2 was great.
I didn't really appreciate the whole Wings of Liberty thing.
No.
Really? I liked Wings of Liberty.
No, don't get me wrong. I loved all 3 campaigns. I didn't appreciate them breaking it into 3 games.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yes. That was the start of the downhill. But
Yeah.
even then, I felt that at least campaign-wise, they put enough stuff in that I was like, I'm not happy about paying $60, but I'm not gonna be mad about it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And especially with Wings of Liberty, it was still a very coherent and solid game. It wasn't until like the Heart of the Void and Heart of the Swarm and Soul of the Void or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
The Void.
And even
Yeah,
Heart of the
they did.
Swarm, like, at least Heart of the Swarm was like, guys, we'd really like to do the story over again, so here's a cooler version of Kerrigan.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's where the story got lost. Is like Wings of Liberty was a great sequel,
Yes,
but the
it
problem
answered
is,
lots of questions.
Yeah, but the problem is that Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void just was like, we're going to explain things that you didn't even have questions for, you know? It's like, I didn't want you to explain this.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I don't know why I just forgot the
describe-
word for the Star Wars microbes.
Might have,
No, not mitochondrian.
Midichlorians?
Yeah.
Midichlorians. I was about to ask you, hey, can you tell us about midichlorians? But I forgot the name. Sorry, ruined the joke.
Yeah,
But
effectively, yeah. And there
I
was a lot of
actually
stuff that I didn't answer to.
used to actually respect Blizzard immensely as a company, despite not liking the stuff, because I'm like, okay, they respect their fans. They do a lot for their fans.
They used to
they're
do
doing
a lot
good
of
work.
that, yeah. They
And
used
then
to do
I
that.
heard about, like, the first time they appeared on my shit list wasn't even that. It was when they shut down the vanilla server that fans created of World of Warcraft. I heard about it. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, and the worst part, right, from a financial perspective, right, when they said, we don't want this because we have to protect our IP, I was like, all right, that's shitty, but IP laws in the United States are very weird, so yes, it's true, and we aren't going to offer WoW Classic, and we want these people to play WoW, or nothing. I was like, again, shitty, but from a business perspective, I get it. What cheesed me off was then, months later, guys, WoW Classic you can now pay extra money for WoW Classic.
No, this was a long war. This is WoW Classic and Burning Crusade and Wrath of Lich King servers. I think I first heard about private servers back in the end of Burning Crusade. Yeah, I think that's around where I started hearing about private servers popping up. And it's been a long war that Blizzard has had with these private servers, because a lot of the servers were like small communities of 50 to 100 people, and they didn't really talk about it, and they never really posted about it, so Blizzard basically couldn't find out about it. And servers only ever really got shut down when they started getting big, and maybe they started charging for server usage, and they doing other events and shit, and people got really creative with all this stuff, and I just don't understand why they never took up the Valve motto, because even back in 2010, Valve was doing fucking real fine when it came to money. The Valve motto of, if people want your product, provide it to them and they'll stop pirating it.
Yeah.
Fucking what? It turns out that people really don't want to go through the effort of setting up an illegal server that might eventually one day get erased when they can just pay $10 and get access to something that won't be erased.
Ever.
Wow, it's really weird how that works. But
There it is.
yeah. Also, apparently, from I keep up on WoW news. Apparently, the classic team is hated inside of Blizzard's office.
What?
Because, yeah, they were hated because Blizzard originally expected people to like come back to Classic and be like, oh wow, Classic, oh wow, nostalgia factor is wearing off quickly. I hate this game now. Modern WoW is so much better, and then it turns out that everyone was like, wow, Classic is so much better than the current state of WoW, and the modern team is just getting utterly shit on because Classic was just so much better than current state of WoW. And so internally, the Classic team was just getting fucking eviscerated in terms of the amount of people that were allowed on the project and deadlines they suddenly had to meet and shit, and like changes that the company wanted to do to Classic. And now, I'm sure none of you keep up on Classic news.
Absolutely not.
So now in Classic,
Well,
they've
okay.
reached the end of Classic. Noxuramas has come out. The end of original WoW is nigh. And people were either like, okay, well, either Blizzard's going to end it here, or they're going to extend it into Burning Crusade Classic. And they extended it to Burning Crusade Classic. However, they have gone back on their previous promise of not making changes to Classic that weren't just objective code-based changes and balancing changes that were, like, oh, by Season 6 we finally figured out how warriors do damage, so we're just going to have that how they do damage the entire time instead of like replaying all the patches effectively, right?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Was the game glitching out with warriors for some reason? Like the warrior
I
class?
was
Did
just
they not
using-
understand their own code?
Well,
No.
back in
It
Classic
was
days,
just that for a very long time, lots of classes didn't have things fine tuned or well done. So either they got a buff and it was too strong, or they got a nerf and it was too much. So one of the things the WoW Classic team was like, okay, by the time we got to the end of Noxuramas, we had a really good spot for all of the existing classes.
Yeah, and so they decided to be like, okay, we're just going to start off at that point instead of trying to just replay the patches as they came out.
That sounds reasonable.
yeah.
Is it not?
Oh no, it was. No, this is where the problem comes in. So they turned around on the whole not making changes to the Classic bit. So Burning Crusade Classic's coming out June 1st. You can pay $60 to get a boosted character that is level 60 that can immediately enter the Burning Crusade. You can pay $70 for the Battle Chest Pass thing, which gives you the boosted character and a mount. 2 mounts and a pet, 2 pets and a toy. And you can pay $35 to transfer your character from WoW Classic to WoW Classic Burning Crusade.
Are they also going to restart WoW Classic from the beginning?
No. There's going to be
No, but I think they did. I think there was talk of introducing progression servers.
Well, no, that's what it is. So basically, there's going to be the WoW Classic servers, and there's going to be the new Burning Crusade servers now, which you can pay money to transfer your character from WoW Classic to Burning Crusade.
Essentially, you're having to remake your character or pay money.
Yeah.
Ain't to boost to the point. Ain't of being able to do TBC content.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's $70 fucking. Also the mount is a store mount. They're adding the store into Burning Crusade Classic. And the store mount is objectively superior to all other mounts and moves faster than all other mounts.
How fast is that damn mount?
An extra 60%.
That's some horseshit.
Yeah.
150 for basic goes to 280.
No,
Yeah.
dude, what are you smoking, dude? 40% was back in the day.
Yeah.
It was
Back in the
40
bad old days when everybody played Druid.
Yeah. Back
It
in
was
Classic,
40%
dude.
for the first
Yeah.
mount.
That
Then it
took-
became
I had to share this in the FF Fanfiction 9K because I saw this on another server and it just had me laughing my ass off.
Yeah. No,
The affiliate,
that's what it is, right? It's a mount that's available at level 40, but it moves at the level 70 speed.
You mean level 60 speed, because level 70 is the
Flying.
big.
Right.
And that's what I was
level
talking
60
about.
speed. Yeah.
I was talking
God,
about the flying because I thought you meant
No,
60%
not flying. No, it was a ground mount.
I'm so glad I never fell into the hole of MMOs.
Honestly,
Sounds like so much work for no gain.
No, MMOs can be very good for someone in a certain stage of life that they need to distract themselves from, but also carry a sense of progress and purpose with when that person's life isn't looking too hot. It's a very specific subsect of people that are like that. But yeah, no, ultimately, otherwise, I agree with you. Pretty much playing any game is a waste of your time, quote unquote. But as Asmongold said, and I do agree with him on a lot of opinions that aren't political, games should be made to make you want to waste time on them, not waste your time.
Well, when I play video games, I play them for, well, now I'm getting older, I play for different reasons. But when I used to play video games, I would play video games that have their own story. It would be the same as reading a fictional book. I'm getting the same value of it as from a fictional book. These weird philosophies, these characters in amazing situations, these stories, and these worlds.
MMOs can do
That's
that.
why I play video games.
Rarely.
Now, like, the only games I play are ones that I can play as I use them as something in the background to concentrate while watching lessons.
That's fair enough.
So, since I can't go walking or hiking.
Yeah, so the author of this story, honestly, the whole reason why I haven't even like tried to put us back on topic of this multiple times is because it's so fucking bland. Okay, so look, the entire first chapter is just, Chief, wake up, everything's exploding again for the 5th time or whatever. You gotta run out of the exploding section of the place you woke up into the non-exploding section, and then you're on another planet and you gotta, I don't know, kill all the huntsmen or something. Fucking Christ, I don't know.
Is there a crossover between RWBY and Bloodborne?
Oh,
and everyone RWBY dies horribly?
Well, yes, people have done that very many times.
Unfortunately,
just the term huntsman.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, mostly. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stories where it's myself, insert OC from Bloodborne, ends up in Ruby, and just saves the day by having all of the powers.
Completely against what Bloodborne is.
Well, yes, of course, but that's the point. The point is to fulfill the power fantasy, which is objectively stupid, and I really feel like they shouldn't be telling us about.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that I actually came to a realization with when I was talking to Nosehair recently, is that a lot of these fanfictions are effectively the written ramblings of that really annoying kid in school that everyone knows, that does not shut up about whatever topic he's super interested in, but literally not another single person in the entire school is interested in hearing him talk about it. So he'll just start talking, he'll walk up to a group of people and just start talking about it despite no one listening to him.
What? I don't remember us having that kid.
Really?
Then again, it was a small school.
Well, yeah, there you go.
There were at least 3 kids like that in my high school.
Not a single one.
Like, we had this one kid that would just come up to everyone, generally everyone, and would just start talking about Heroes of Newerth.
What the fuck is Heroes of Newerth?
It was Dota
Garbage
ripoff.
Dota.
Yeah, it was a ripoff of Dota that tried to go publisher, and it ended up not working.
Dota's a video game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the TLDR. Dota started as a mod in Warcraft. It got super popular, and then some guy who helped the original creator of Dota work on it a little bit was like, I can make a lot of money on this. So then he ran off and made League of Legends. And stole everything from Dota. Not even joking.
And then made it worse.
Made it so much worse.
I'm trying to think of a fandom that, I guess there were other kids that were into Naruto back then too, though. That wasn't a problem.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm trying to think of something.
Oh.
I mean, me and my other friends would discover new things and share it with each other.
D&D
Like, hey, I
was
discovered
another
this video
decent
game called
one.
Legendary. It's pretty
Yeah.
vivid.
Yeah, D&D was another fairly like obnoxious fan base, I guess you could call it. That really didn't
I
have a lot
never
of
once
fans.
heard of Dungeons and
Unless-
Dragons until I was at the ripe old age of 22.
Wow, I heard it at like 7.
I heard about it a lot, but that's because it was always held up as an example of the terrible culture
Hmm.
that exists in America. Like,
No, there we go.
No, right,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
because
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I-
Bionicles after 2007.
Oh
I
god.
wish everyone does.
After 2007.
I mean, I remember Yu-Gi-Oh being a hit with me and my peers for like a year, and then we.
Right, that's what I'm saying. After 2007. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the big hit around 2003, 2004, 2005, depending on where you were. And he's on. Good.
Excellent.
All right.
Oh, he's back.
God damn it.
Depending on where you were between 2003 and 2005, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bionicles was the shit, and all the fucking
Yes.
nerds talked about it. But like post 2007, nobody fucking talked about it either. And if you just ran up to random people and started talking about it, they would look at you like, "What the fuck are you talking to me about?" Or, "Dude, no one does that anymore."
The Bionicle toys were the
programmed.
shit, though.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They were pretty great. The best thing Lego ever
I
made.
don't know.
I-
I kind of had Bionicles spoiled for me because we had this one retarded kid, and I mean, like he was literally no. I mean, like he was literally diagnosed retarded. That's what the school called it.
Okay.
Like literally was retarded. He constantly carried a Bionicle everywhere with him, and his Game Boy Advance with Pokemon in it, and would constantly disrupt classes by making either Pokemon sounds or
Oh.
smashing his Bionicle on the table. And he tried to bash me over the head one day because I was in the bathroom and I saw him just sitting on the bathroom floor playing on Pokemon, and I told the teacher on him.
He did. I'm sorry. What?
He was in the
Missed it.
bathroom playing Pokemon on the floor, and I finished going to
Ooh.
the bathroom, went back into the classroom that I had with him. This was before then. This was before the days they separated. The special kids. And I told the teacher. She was like, "Oh, have you seen the kid? You went to the bathroom too?" I was like, "Oh yeah, he's in the bathroom playing on Pokemon." And so he got in trouble. So he tried bashing my head in.
I went to some schools where they didn't separate us. Well, we separated us, but we still rode on buses together.
Oh man, I'm probably gonna get banned from Twitch if I talk about the bus situation with special kids.
I hope I can tell you mine. It's not too bad.
I've read
One named Bryce.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
probably should
I'll
not
leave it
name
alone.
names. Also,
Okay. Like one. Okay.
Yeah.
But
just
he would hit
person-
people.
Yeah.
He would always just hit people. And one day I was just zoning out. He hit me, and just on reflex, I gave him 2 to the jaw.
Yeah, that's about what I expected to happen.
Yeah.
And then a lot of other kids tried to fight me, and I effed them up real bad.
Yeah.
So people had to step in because a lot of people didn't realize I was good at fighting people. That was kind of my thing when I was a teenager.
Yeah, a group of kids tried to kill me at one point, and that didn't work out great for them.
Yeah, no.
No, like literally, I mean, like, oh yeah, they tried to kill me. Like, no, like the guy when they attacked me as a group of 5 kids, the guy who was leading the kids that attacked me literally said, "Let's fucking kill him, crush his windpipe, make sure he's dead." So I was like, okay, well, okay, fine. I'm just gonna
Sneaky was the popular kid, in case you couldn't tell.
gonna go kick the ever living shit. By the way, that's also where I started having issues with certain religious denominations from certain parts of the world, because that's what the ring.
Inshallah, brother.
Yeah,
The big M or the big J?
the big M.
Okay.
Yeah, he was some rich oil daddy.
Well, I would say, now
basically.
let's be clear. The rest of the kids, as far as I know, were either the big A or the big J. It was only the ringleader that was the big M, correct?
Yeah.
A is an Amish?
Yes, totally
No.
nailed it.
No, the Amish question is something we need to seriously talk about as a society.
I'm fine with that, dude. They make the best fucking pretzel dogs ever.
My friend Chris, he lives in a small town that has an Amish population. And their horses always shit on the roads, and he's always complaining, like, if my 10-pound
he just
dog
has
left
bad
third,
Amish.
I'd get it.
Yeah.
I'd have...
The Amish down here in Jersey are great. Love them.
Okay.
The ones in
but
Illinois
he-
are super chill.
He
but,
likes making jokes about the fact they oftentimes die in pools of literal shit.
The
like the actual-
kid did not quite understand consequences because his dad was an oil baron.
Yep.
And so he was like, "Oh yeah, I can just go beat up this kid no one likes." And yeah, I broke some arms, punched his face in, broke his nose.
Mhm. The only Muslim, or I think he
yeah.
was Muslim, he was full-on Africana, so like West African Muslim. Really peaceful, chill dude. Like,
I'm sure that
he's
means
quoted
nothing
as
to me.
saying, God is good.
That's cool.
That's the only
But-
Muslim I knew growing up.
Okay. Really wasn't the point of the story, but yeah, whatever.
I know, I got it.
Literally,
I'm
this
telling
story
you.
has nothing in it. This is literally just insert generic opening to any Halo game. And then we have this random OC called Grun, who's talking her
She
parents'
sounds
raves.
lovely. How much does she weigh?
Yeah, I don't know. She's talking to her dead parents or something.
No, the joke, her name is Grunt. It sounds like
Yes,
a
we
really
got
big
it. We just
woman's
I
didn't
know.
name.
laugh.
I just got moved on.
You aren't funny, you know.
I know.
So yeah, then the ship crashed into this village and Grun was dead or whatever, or she's checking out the explosion or something. I don't fucking know. Point being,
That is
this
such a
first
terrible
chapter,
name.
well, not only is the first name terrible, the fucking whole chapter's dumb. Thankfully, buggers are juicing. Yeah, okay, fine, author. You just have some weird ass chapter names. So yeah, anyway, point being is that this chapter's fucking garbage. The story's fucking garbage. The summary's fucking garbage. The author's fucking garbage. And the author even recognized that fact because they didn't update their story past 6 chapters, which was around only 18,000 words in the end.
Was it really that much worse than the one between the darkness and that softcore porn anime?
Honestly, no, it wasn't. But the problem here is that there's such thing as boringly offensive. It's offensively boring. Where a story is literally just so bland, it's like, why the fuck are you wasting my time writing this absolutely non-story?
Okay.
So I think we can.
Could you tell us more ghost stories from your old job?
I
That might cheer
probably
us up.
could. That's a little bit more interesting, probably, than whatever this fucking. What the fucking hell? Okay, you know what? We're just gonna cover this story, really quickly, and then I'll tell some ghost stories until everyone feels like leaving. I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna ask me to stop reading the story the second I start.
I will need
Oh,
to look
boy.
at it to fucking tell you that.
Is that some kind of weird Mega Man Strong Bad picture?
Yes. A Mother's Love.
What?
A Rugrats all grown up story.
Oh,
Depart.
What in the fuck?
the moment the syllable rug left your mouth.
Hurt, comfort, angst.
Is this incest?
Oh god, I hope not. Takes
Wait,
place
it's not
after
funny.
the All Grown Up movie. Despite Dill and Tommy coming to terms in the forest, Dee Dee and Stu still focus on the new baby. Why is this?
I think I'm gonna have to check out after this. Just
leaving
Lord Rats.
Tommy feeling
One of the
abandoned.
worst cartoons in history.
All it takes is one night to help Dee Dee realize what she did in neglecting Tommy. The question is, can she earn back the precious gift that is her child's love?
Peace out,
isn't he
folks.
fucking 3?
No,
Yeah,
this is
bye.
taking place after the All Grown Up movie, I thought.
No, because Dill and Tommy coming to terms in the forest. That's the plot
That's the
line
mo-
of
yeah, that's the
Rugrats
movie.
the movie.
Yeah.
That's not the All Grown Up movie. That's Rugrats the original
Right.
movie where they get onto a train filled with monkeys and they all sing the Witch Doctor song. Which now looking back on it is hilariously not a song you should be playing for children. Basically, it's a song about, hey, Witch Doctor, my dick is flat. What can I do to extend it?
Yes, long time.
And the Witch Doctor says, take some drugs and fuck her good.
I mean,
I
it
see.
works.
It's just like, why the fuck are they playing this on repeat in a movie about babies fighting monkeys?
Hmm.
Oh god, my childhood, looking back on it, I'm just like, what the fuck was going on there? Like, I'm not one of those people that are like, we gotta protect our children. But at the same time, looking back at my childhood, being like, oh Jesus Christ. I'm seeing where a lot of the fetishes are coming from on the internet these days, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, there's a lot looking back where I'm like, oh, so that's when X started, right?
That explains this fetish going on that I see all over now. It's like, oh, okay.
Right.
So I
You
guess
look at anything to do with Lola Bunny, and you're just like, I see.
Oh no, I was going
Lola
with
Bugs and Jessica Rabbit.
Totally Spies, Marvin Mystery.
Okay, wait, hold on. What did Totally Spies give rise to? Am I gonna regret asking that question?
So fucking much. Inflation, body swapping, skin suits.
Okay, skin suits and body swapping, yes.
Face ripping
Like-
off. What other shit that happened to Totally Spies?
Too much.
Oh, definitely the
Gigantress. The Gigantress shit.
Yeah, but what's the one? What's the one where
point.
people are like, "Oh, I want to make my girlfriend fat."
Yeah, that happened as well. Yes. The that latex stuff. Pretty much, you can almost name any fetish that is currently popular on DeviantArt, and it can probably be traced back to Marvin Mystery, Totally Spies, or Ed, and Eddie.
Okay, Ed, and Eddie was how the West got introduced to tsunderes.
Yes. God, there was some stuff that happened in Totally Spies. It's not even like fetish related. I'm just thinking about like the time they bounced a laser between two mirrors, and then turned the mirrors to cut the bars of a jail cell, but the laser
kept bouncing.
Because the laser kept bouncing between the mirrors, and it's like, wait, hold on.
Physics.
That's not how this works.
I'm sitting here like, wait a second. What drugs was Nickelodeon on when they wrote these shows? Turns out the drug was cocaine and meth. A lot of Nickelodeon animators have been arrested
My Life
for
as a Teenage
cocaine and
Robot.
meth. Yes,
That was responsible for a couple.
that was the robotization. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that was another one.
The worst part is that was actually a great show, and I wish that it was...
So was Totally Spies and Martin Mystery. I fucking laughed my ass off at them. It just so happens that now I'm looking at the state of DeviantArt whenever I try to get good fan art of a series I enjoy, and I go down to the, you might also enjoy other works like this, and I'm just like, no, I don't enjoy any of these other works like this.
What the fuck?
Why
have you suggested this to me?
Why would you recommend any of these? What does any of these have to do with anything that I'm currently looking at?
And then you find the one tenuous link, and you're like, "Oh, please go away."
Well, I mean, usually it's like, oh yeah, it's because the artist also made art tagged for the same fandom of the art you're currently looking at some point. And it's like, oh well, because the DeviantArt's recommendation algorithm is based on art you've looked at, but it's also based on art that's related to art you've looked at, and also weighted by how popular the artist is. So some of the fetish artists that apparently like make one safe for work, because this is apparently a thing, because I ended up following this one safe for work artist, because they made some really good art.
One of the only ones on DeviantArt. I'm glad you found a unicorn.
I did not. Because when I looked into their comments, they were referencing something constantly, and so I decided to look at the thing up they were referencing. There was a name, and it turns out that it was the name of the old deviant artist, like before they had that account, and it was a very much not safe for work fetish account. And their last post on that account was, "Hey guys, I'm making a new unnamed safe for work account that will have no connection to my old account, because now I realize trying to get a job with a bunch of fetish art on my profile is hard." And I was like,
Imagine that.
I see.
Like, fair
Okay,
enough.
at least they had the intelligence to recognize that. A lot of the ones on that website don't ever even get that far.
And that's the other part is I'll find like this one really good like piece of art on DeviantArt. I'll be like, oh my god, this is great for the fan art. This is amazing fan art. What else have they drawn? Oh, this is the only safe for work piece they've drawn. Oh my, wow, why am I here? I hate it. Yeah, Jesus, I am reading this first sentence of this story, and I think I'm just going to not read this story.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should.
No, I think I'm gonna not do that.
Let's not do this.
I'm not gonna do that. So, what ghost stories have I not told in a while?
I don't know.
So I recently heard a theory proposed by the possibly taking cocaine section of YouTube. That
Yeah.
the whole shadow people thing is the souls of suffering people who are attracted to other people who are currently alive and suffering, and they either wait around or actively harass the person until they die, and they can then join the suffering souls. And
Makes sense.
I heard that theory, and I was like, well, that would go a long way into explaining as to why Gray is apparently constantly surrounded by shadow people, and
Yeah.
why I am absolutely loathed by apparently shadow people.
To be fair, you did miss several harem signals in your lifetime.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the point,
Yeah.
is that I'm both incredibly lucky and completely blithely accepting of my suffering at the same time. So it's sort of just like someone wants me to be miserable, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm not going to be miserable about that. I'm just going to be miserable because my brain chemistry tells me to. But otherwise, fuck you, I'm not actually miserable about any of that shit. So fuck off, bitch. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's, neat little theory. Neat little theory indeed. But as far as motion sensor stories, because this was a recent thing that I commented on. And I posted the clip
Yeah.
into the meme section.
Yeah, I found it first posted
Yeah,
in
and-
SDM.
Yeah. Funny little story. I don't know if I've ever told a motion sensor one live before. I don't think I have.
I don't know.
So I used to work security at this one location that had a bunch of motion sensors tied to lights and alerts. And this certain section of the area that had the motion sensors is supposed to be basically a no-go area past a certain period of time. And the motion sensors went off. And so I hopped into the car, drove down to the area where the motion sensors were going off in, and I got into an overlooked position of the area, and no one was there. And now, just to be clear, this isn't like, oh, maybe they were hiding behind something. No, there is nothing to hide behind. It is a flat, open area, and the downhill view literally reveals the whole area. Nothing was there. And the motion sensor, however, kept triggering in front of me, because it would turn off the lights, and then whatever was moving around would re-trigger the lights, and the motion sensor would go off. And it was a moment of, okay, well, that's really fucking weird. I'm gonna go check out the motion sensor to make sure there isn't like a fucking rat just like sitting its ass right in front of it or whatever, because you never know. So I drive down to the motion sensor, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, no, there's nothing in front of this motion sensor that would trigger it because by being too close, even though it's small. So the motion sensor is picking up it as being a large object. And then I see someone in the field across from my car, standing there, looking at me. And I'm like, oh, so there was a person down here. That's really weird. I didn't see them in this completely open field that has literally ankle-high grass as its highest cover. And so I get in the truck to bring it around to go talk to them, but by the time I turn the truck around with a little U, they're gone. In a field about a mile big that is closed off. I'm like, oh. Alright then. That is not okay. So I drove back, told the operator about what happened, and he just looked at me and said, oh, yeah, that happens around here.
Sir, what do you mean that happens around here?
I'm like, oh. I see. I'm not okay
No one
with
thought
that.
to tell the new guy. I like how many of these stories in why didn't you tell the new guy this?
They figure it out.
And the worst part is it was the classic it's 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. in the morning thing.
Oh, good.
I was like,
Good.
oh, very cool. I did actually have one other story. The one time I ever saw shadow people was at that same facility. Because there's a lot of cars that get left over overnight. And we have to go through all the cars to make sure that there's no one still in them. That's the time period is when everyone should not be in the cars.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was walking down this one row of cars, I got the feeling of being watched. And you know how certain cars can have like that middle seat in the back row, where it's like it
Yeah.
doesn't have a headrest, but it's still like set up as a seat.
Yeah, that really awkward
Yep.
spot.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of cars like that because travelers and whatnot typically drive cars like that. And so I was walking through this row, pretty much in every single car that. Well, this is only the cars that I can confirm, right? So, obviously, I'm discluding any cars that I could have, because of paranoia, been like, oh, that headrest is a person's head. So the only cars I'm counting for this happening in were cars that I can objectively say there was no headrest in existence there, but I definitely saw a head there. And it was the creepiest fucking feeling in existence, because I had to walk through all these cars to get to the gate, to check the gate, to make sure the gate was locked, and then walk back through them, and it just felt like I was being watched from all of these cars. And every time I tried to, like, put my light on anything in them, I even checked a couple of them and be like, okay, we get fucking teenagers, you know how it is. They're like, oh, maybe they duck down to the car or something. No, there was no one in any of the cars, and it was really weird because it's not something I ever seen before,
You get the other paranormal shit.
It was just really fucking weird, and it really felt like I wasn't wanted there, which is a feeling I get pretty often, which is probably why I'm so good at
I'm
pinpointing
saying you
it.
should be quite familiar
Yeah.
with that feeling. So
Which is probably why I'm so good at pinpointing it. Yeah, I honestly didn't really like working the night shift too much because of shit like that happening, where I worked night shift occasionally on my most recent security job, and even then, we got weird calls where alarms would just start going off when the facility was supposed to be shut down, so no one either A, should be going through that area, or B, the alarm shouldn't even be on because the facility that the alarm was tied to shouldn't be running. And I would just be running in the weirdest places, and there was always the basement, the steam tunnel basement, and goddamn, let me tell you, every single Hollywood movie about the basement level just having fucking pipes going everywhere in these factories, 100% accurate.
oh, it's super true.
So
super
fucking
true.
accurate. And it is the worst having to patrol through it. Because especially there was this one room that was a makeshift room that was... The worst part about it, there was no entrance to this room. It was a makeshift room where they had taken sheet metal, not aluminum, steel sheet metal, and had bolted it to the 4 support pillars. And had basically quarantined this entire area with this sheet metal, with no entrance to this area. but there was constantly something scratching and banging in that area. And I don't mean like, I mean like scratching, like nails on metal scratching. I'm just like, I hate this. I hate this so fucking much, because it only would start banging and scratching when I got close. And I'm just
Okay,
like,
so Sneaky, you realize that you were definitely in an umbrella facility, and that was like a liquor, right?
I am just like, I have to pass by it too, and it's just like, I don't want to be the guard at the beginning of the fucking movie that, like, you know what I mean though, right?
I know what you mean.
Hey, what's that noise?
No, right? Like, the one day I don't stop moving, like, the one day I actually stop moving right past it, and the one day I actually, check on whatever the fuck is making this noise, that's gonna be the day when the movie starts and the fucking, like, fist comes through the sheet metal and grabs me and pulls me through, and I scream and shit, and the blood goes everywhere, and then over the radio here, Sneaky, report in, what's going on, Sneaky, why is your radio down?
Radio gets crushed, and there's a growl.
Right, exactly. It really didn't help that the facility I worked in was working with a lot of dangerous chemicals, both in body composition and in its acidity or basicity. So like it could either burn your skin off or give you super cancer and shit like that. So that really didn't help that bit, especially because I had later found out that at that facility there was an elevator I did not have access to. I have access to the entire facility except for this one elevator in the basement.
Oh no.
Please tell me that
Oh,
elevator
no.
was right smack dab next to sheet metal room.
It was.
Oh, yes, I knew it.
And the thing is that this elevator goes to lower floors I was also not aware about. And I'm just like, what? And the only reason I ever found out about this was because an alarm was going off one day in that area, and I was walking by the area, and one of the employees for that section spotted me and said, hey, you can get them to turn off the alarms, right? And I'm like, yeah. All right. Well, call in and tell them A2-1B needs to be turned off and deactivated for the next 45 minutes. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, alrighty then. Hey, Control, A2-1B has asked to turn off line for 45 minutes. 10-4. Alright, I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here.
I'm just gonna go before I get crushed by Mr. X.
Above my pay grade.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a biochem facility.
That you know of.
That I know of, right? Yeah, that I know of.
Like, don't take that the wrong way, Sneaky, but like, right? The umbrella facilities totally weren't bioweapon facilities either.
I mean, that's also fair. I mean, to be fair, it was like a 50-acre plot of land that was privately owned by this one company for literally over 80 years that had, literally billions of dollars of military contracts going through it. So, I get the weirdest fucking jobs, okay? There's moments in my life where I'm just like, is this the part where I die now? Is the part of the start of a movie? It fucking feels like it. I'm surprised I haven't found a Konosuba Haruhi Suzima fic earlier. This shit is fire. I mean, okay. Alduin is going to feast on shark and eldritch flesh. Oh! Is that what they're doing? I see. I actually would like to see the four members of Hollow Myth end up in Konosuba.
God, that would be something.
Yeah, it would work,
I guess, yeah.
I mean, they're all some degree of useless, so I mean, they fit as the main cast of a Konosuba party.
Fair.
Yes.
I mean, they only have 4 members, so they might need to recruit a 5th at some point from the Konosuba world, but you know, it's
Yeah, that's true.
but enough joking. So you know what? We're gonna close it off here, and appreciate everyone who made it this far. I don't know how my unstable live stream played out to everyone. You know, hopefully it uploads just fine to YouTube. I have no fucking idea anymore.
It disconnected consistently for me.
Oh, very cool. I do really appreciate.
Like just buffering.
Is this the new
But
Twitch
like-
method? I have to wonder. Is this the new Twitch method of making sure all the people they don't like can't keep an audience?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, like you
Okay,
Hey,
can't.
Sneaky,
Yeah.
don't take this. Actually, do take this the way I intended.
Yeah.
You are nowhere near popular, important, or disruptive enough to
Oh,
warrant
I
any
never
of that.
said I was. I never said I was being singled out. I'm just saying, like, this, you know, shadow banning's illegal now, so now they have to fund other ways. And you know, I probably hit all the keywords for their bot.
Gotcha.
And, got placed on the fuck this guy list. You know, all the other people like Destiny. Oh, Destiny.
My volume. Shit. It
I want to
was
see the 4 members. I may never heard of her in RE0. I love how I say the 4 members of Hololive Myth, and everyone in their mind has their own idea of who the real 4 members of Hololive Myth are.
Yeah.
When in actuality, there's 6 members. The 6th member being technical difficulties, son.
No, Sneaky, the 6th member was Altharius the entire time.
Oh, of course, my bad. I forgot. Alright, we're gonna end it here. See you all later on, what's it today? Today's a Tuesday, which means next stream's gonna be Friday. Hopefully Twitch has their shit figured out. Or maybe I'm just forever cursed to have shit streams from now on. Who knows? But now, we'll see you all next time on Fanfiction Theater 9004, because there is always more, and it does always get worse.